You join us here again at PB Lakes, 10 visit, this one for Ben's birthday, a social. Believe it, as birthdays would go, we did a draw on the Thursday night because everyone was coming at different times on the Friday. Sadly, Ben came out last, so you couldn't write that if you tried. All the boys got down and got sorted out. We're all in our pegs now and fishing. On this weekend, I wanted to really reflect on previous sessions that we had on the lake. We're on doing some promotional work for the shrimp and garlic range, which is about to come out exclusively for PB Lakes. The fishing's a little bit hard going this weekend, so it's a good time to go back and reflect. Thing undergoing a load of maintenance work over the course of the week it's been shut, so there's been a lot of weeding going on, so there's been quite a bit of disturbance in the water. But that said, we are getting some responses and the fish are responding.
First fish off at session, £18.7. Got on a new S&G boilie session pack, or soon to be released by Rick. Nice beautiful £18.7 fish. Caught on solid bag, crushed up boilies, fishing to a wee bed of 15 wraps. A couple of beats and here we go. Nice beautiful scaly fish.
I've been using the shrimp and garlic session pack before launch on the lake. The owner, with the owner's blessing, to see how it reacts. My main thoughts of it, and me and Rick, the owner, speaking about it, was, you know, look, it's quite a brackish water at PB Lakes. In the summer when the weed gets up, hence why the big maintenance work that the team have done. It's like a mucky colour, dark coloured water that's in here. So I don't think the high attract baits or the high vis baits necessarily work as well as what they do in the winter on here. So I was really looking for a smelly bait, a bait that they really respond to, and the shrimp and garlic range is really, really pungent. And over the previous sessions and coming into this session with the team, I've had some great success. I've had a previous session I was on, I think I had 5 fish out. It was a 30 in that. Last session I fished before that, I'd had a 36 plus on the shrimp and garlic. I've had upper 20s, I've had another 30 in all in those sessions. I think I've had 3 since I last spoke from this lake on the shrimp and garlic as the weather really got warmed up. So yeah, so with the team we're using this weekend really for promotional stuff and getting the shrimp and garlic range in, getting the products and filmed, some stuff done with the owner and a bit of fishing in between. So still a great weekend, a great catch up with the KARPER lads. You know, we've got Ken, who's probably the professor and the brains behind a lot of the baits that we have. He develops them and works them in the background, and we get the luxury of working with them and going out and testing them. And he's drove all the way up from his own world. It's took him best part of 4.5 hours to get up here. So he's had one to 29.10 I think already.
Well pleased with this. We're just into the second day, come up for Ben's social, and yeah, had a little change of tactic. I was fishing helicopter rigs with wafters on them, and then what I've done is I've switched to a solid bag, so I wasn't too happy with the drop, just in case it landed on any weed. And this has been in 2 hours, and the change has made a difference. So 29.6, absolutely made up with that. Well pleased, and he gave a really good fight as well. It was a really strong fish. So got him out of the weed a few times, but he's in the net and he's ours. And yeah, it was caught on a little wafter in the bag from the shrimp and garlic session pack from PB Lakes.
So when we was last on for my session, for my birthday bash and a bit of a social, that time I was trying the RS range, which wasn't available at the lake at that time. So I was doing some test session packs. I had a fantastic weekend, even though we saw all conditions, everything from bright sunshine and sat sweating and in your t-shirt in these lovely pods, to coat on, wet gear on, snowstorm, get landing fish in the snow and getting photos of that. So we had from summer carp to snow carp to spring carp to winter carp all in one all in one session. But it was a great weekend. So I had a lovely 31 10 common, my first common out of the lake. Out of 50 odd fish have all been mirrors. It was lovely to finally get a common and it to be a 30.
So here we have PB 30, a 31 pound 10 ounce common from PBLAKES, caught on a KARPER almond berry wafter. Delighted myself with this fish. It's my first common out of this lake. I've had probably 50 fish out of here, all been mirrors. So the first common I've had out on a 30. Absolutely delighted. Really happy with this one. And get her put back safely.
Also during the session, I was fortunate enough in all the snow, even though Chris won't thank me for it because the fish ended up making its way to his swim. But I had a lovely 26 plus mirror as well, all caught while it was snowing, and we've got some footage of us while I was landing and playing that fish, and also some nice footage of us of taking a capture of the fish.
This was caught on the new to come to PBLAKES, the RS pack, session pack with the mixed PB pellets exclusively for PBLAKES. And this was caught on a dispersion wafter, some RS boilies that come with the pack, which was soaked in the RS Energizer liquid. Really happy with this one, stunning fish.
Rick also runs a really good restocking programme. He likes to introduce a few more fish in to push the others on, help change the status quo in the lake a little bit, get them feeding again and get them competing for bait. And I was lucky on that session as well, even though it was one of the smaller fish. I had an 18 pound zip linear, but it was an absolute stunning fish and it was a pleasure to catch. I think final fish of the session, I think actually during the weekend I said, oh, this should be my last one, and then I think I nicked one within the last hour of going as well, and I had a lovely 27 pound mirror to end the session really. So in really tough conditions, I personally had 4 fish, and to be fair, all of the lads, given the conditions, we had plenty of fish out. It was great to see.
Well, fantastic way to end the session. It's been a great weekend with all the lads. It's been a lovely birthday weekend for myself. Got about another hour left, so maybe chance of one more while they're on the bait.
I had a few of the lads on, all the lads were carp lads on, some of them good mates of mine. It was great to see Smithy, who I fished this with a lot, catch a couple of fish. had a lovely fully scaled mirror, 22 and a half I think it was, something like that. But it was a great fish and good to see him catch him. Chris Mitchell was fishing with us. I had Chris on with the lake, another one of the Carper promo lads. They weren't all consultants, it was generally a Carper team event, and more importantly it was my birthday do, so it was about friends and a bit of work thrown in as well with the Carper lads. So we had Chris Mitchell on with us. He's a regular to the lake. He always tends to catch as well, to be fair to the kid, and he had a couple down in Peg 7. He had a low 20 and a double, but it was good to see him catch. He was joined by another friend, one of the Carper lads, but an old friend who I've known a long time. He's a bit of a pup chuck king, Barry Beadle. He does know a bit about fishing, but you won't believe it if you was to speak to him and fish with him. And he had a lovely, one of the low 20s as well, part of the recent stockings. He had a nice 20-pound mirror as well. Craig had a tough session with us on there. I think he was, from memory, he was one of the last or second to last out the draw. Craig Ham's got he has a stubbornness about him of not being beaten, so he does fish hard. I probably think he fishes better when he's under the cosh a little bit. He's done that a few times now with him when I've been on this lake, and he's always caught. So in one of what you'd call the unfavoured peg, so to speak, he still managed to get a 21 pound. And Chris Fullard was on with us, and the lake's been beating, you won't mind admitting it if you was to speak to Chris. It had been and has been beating him up, he just hadn't seemed to quite crack the code. On my birthday he had a fish that was great to see him catch one. There was a load of pressure off him on there, and I can honestly say after that session, every time he's come he's done a fish. All in all it was a great weekend. You know, the boys, we had a barbecue down at the hut. We'll be having another barbecue down at the hut tonight for Ben's session, so it's a great social, part of what PBLAKES offers. Rick gets Rob down, he comes and does all the cooking. You can have a good crack, have a few beers. We had a bit of birthday cake on mine. We'll find out if Ben's as popular and if he's got a birthday cake. Sorry Ben. So from fishing the lake and getting to know Rick and fishing it quite often, we spoke to Rick a little while back about introducing carper baits, and Rick was looking at using an alternative bait. He's keen on using only bait that he puts into the water and that you buy from site, which I tend to agree with, because he spent a lot of money on the lake. He's got some beautiful fish in the lake, some big fish in the lake, and it's all about fishery management, I guess, and he wants to know what's going in and how much is going in, and he can then see that by what people are buying and going in, and he can top it up or reduce it as per his feeding programme. So we've got speaking to Rick about some ranges we could use that would do well on the water, and I think we opted for 3 really session packs that work well on the water. There's a nut range session pack, which is the spicy nut. There's a fish meal session pack, which is the shrimp and garlic, which is due to come out, and we're currently testing that as we speak. And I've been fishing with it on the lake, as seeing how it reacts, and certainly has some good results, certainly over these last couple of months. And we've also got the RS session pack, which is what we used when we was on for my birthday bash, and all of them doing well and all of them catching plenty of fish, which is great to see. It's good to see for us, because we want to make sure we give Rick a good quality bait, and the fish are reacting to it and he's getting fish on the bank. So in these session packs, which are ideal, you know, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's just enough for a weekend for when you come on. You get PBLAKES mixed pellets, you get a kilo of boilie in your pack, you get a small mixed tub of dumbbells and pop-ups in the same tub, so you've got an option either or, if you want a fish boilie or if you want a fish wafter. You get a small energizer gel, and this forms the basis of what the pack is, so they're all in each of one of those of them ranges. And of course, if you want to buy anything additional on the session, whether you want to buy some more pellet from Rick or you want to buy any more of the energizers or boilies or anything else, Rick has them also in the lodge that he sells them separately on top of the pack if you need them, if you was to run out of bait. The energizer gels I think are a great addition for anglers fishing on using them on a session pack for a couple of reasons. If you're fishing solid bags, it's additional attraction at the bottom of the lake. Obviously it holds, it's quite heavy, so it stays in and around the bottom of your hook bait, stays in the water, so it's added attraction for when the fish come in. I also use it, so for instance, as an example, I use the shrimp and garlic, and in the summer when carp are really feeding, and I'm not really bothered about putting a high attract bait as such in the middle of my bait and wanting them to pick that bait up first because it's high visual, high attract, so I need to pick that one up first. In the summer when they're naturally grazing and eating anyway, it's only a personal opinion, but I tend to think, oh, we'll move away from that. I can see how it works later on in the year, but during the summer months I try to match the hatch as much as I can. However, that being said, where the gels do come in really handy, like on this lake as a prime example, I've found they'll react really well to pink baits. So the shrimp and garlic is match the hatch is a natural coloured bait, matches the bait, closing the title, match the hatch. And in one of my tubs I'll have a match the hatch tub that I'll use to match the bait, but on a couple of my other rods, or one of my other rods, I'll twist and turn, because I do think the shrimp and garlic is a definite, how pungent it is given what the water is, I do think they react to the smell of that bait. So, but if I do want to add a bit of colour and I do want a bit of pink, I use the Energizer gel, the shrimp and garlic one. I put a little bit in the pot, I'll give it a shake up, let it soak in a little bit, not soaking too much that it's no longer a wafter, and you can no longer use it as a wafter, it becomes more like a bottom bait because you've soaked it, you've soaked in that much liquid. I just add a little bit to it, shake it up, as it draws it in, add a little bit more into it, shake it up, and then you end up with quite a red bait. It looks red when you first introduce the liquid, but once it's out in the water, you get that little bit of attraction of the liquid oozing off the boilie, but what you also get is as it washes out a bit, you get a really nice light pink. So that's another, it's another reason why I use the gel.
So as part of the session pack that we do exclusively for Rick over at PBLAKES, we also provide in the pack enough for a weekend, a little mixed pot of our dispersion pop-ups and wafters. These are a great hook bait, very high attract. This is primarily down to the fact that the dispersion product is needed into the base mix of the boilie, of the hook bait, and then when it goes through its dry coating process, we also add a further coating of dispersion attraction to it. So once this is cast out and makes contact with the water, from the second really that your lead hits the bottom and your hook bait settles, after about 5 or 6 seconds, this will start dispersing high attract flavours, and that'll do that with the external coating for probably 20 minutes as a high attract, and then for a further 20 hours once it gets to the core, it'll continue to release flavours for probably 20 hours. So they really are a good high attract bait that's always working for you in the swim.
So match the hatch are actually, the shrimp and garlic that I've been using on the lake are off the, obviously from Carper. They don't come in your session packs. Session packs are the dispersion ranges that we do. However, hook baits are allowed on PBLAKES, so if there's any hook baits that I've spoken about, or any hook baits you fancy bringing from the Carper range, they'll be fine on the lake, and you should have a look at the website, see what baits you feel would work on the lake. Like I say, I've had lots of success on the shrimp and garlic. Certainly having it on the match the hatch that's soon to be released, and as I explained, adding a bit of shrimp and garlic gel to that match the hatch range and letting it soak in to give me a bit of a soft pink has definitely been doing the damage on me on the lake. Certainly in the winter months on here and the autumn months, a lot of my success that I've been on the lake has been on our almondberry, high-vis pop-ups and wafters, and probably the reason why using in the summer months, having that shrimp and garlic more as a flavour rather than a visual, and it's probably why I also look to add a little bit of the shrimp and garlic gel to give them, soak that in and give them that bit of a pink look, because I've definitely had a lot of good luck in the winter months. The autumn and winter months on here, on the almondberry boilies on high-vis, quite often just on singles as well. So join us as we reach the end of our session at PBLAKES and a recap of previous sessions. Chris, our cameraman, had to leave early today as he was going to a wedding, as luck would have it. The wind had changed during the night, so pretty much from seeing nothing down Chris's end of the lake and Craig's end of the lake through Friday and Saturday, the wind started to change through the early hours of Saturday morning. So a nice new wind pushing into both, well, in Chris's swims, to be honest with you, not so much in Craig's. Started to see fish show. Sadly, Chris had to pack up and was on his way home. Craig, though, ever the opportunist, seeing fish showing on a new wind, finally seeing some shows, quickly reeled in 2 of his rods, moved over a peg and cast over to the area where the fish was showing. Fishing single shrimp and garlic wafters, just casting to showing fish. Nothing clever, just literally having the attitude and the want to get up and move and get on fish, rather than calling an end to the session and packing his gear away and going home. It paid off for him. He had 3 fish between 23 and 27 pound. Hope the blog has been informative on both our products and also on PBLAKES. At this time, I'd like to thank Rick Hewland, wife Jill, Rob, who comes and does all the cooking and looks after us all on these exclusives. He'll hate me for saying it, but for fun, Neil Clark, the head bailiff, for just being Neil, or joking aside, coming round and looking after you and always making sure that you're doing alright and doing what he can to ensure you get on fish. If you'd like to see anything else that Carper do, please go onto the website or look on the Facebook page, and also go onto YouTube and log on to Carper TV. Since the launch of the Carper session packs and the production of this video, some stunning fish have been coming out of the lake on the packs. Here are just a few of the recent captures that have been caught. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to our channel for future vlogs.